Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lost in the Reel. Today, we are counting down our very favorite revenge films. And you know what? We thought it'd be a great idea to do this because we'd like to get revenge on 2020 by having a great year in 2021. Let's do it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Devin, and this is Sean. Today, we'll be talking about one of my favorite subgenres of film, revenge flicks. When you see that villain get away with some injustice, and that feeling boils in your gut, and you look at that bastard and think to yourself, I can't wait until you get what's coming to you. There's just something so visceral about it. That feeling of doling out justice is pretty universal, I think. They say that revenge is a dish best served cold, but honestly, it can't happen soon enough for me. Starting off my list is mentioned from a previous list we've had. It's Lucky Number 11,
Hmm.
directed by Paul McGuigan. I'm not sure how to say his name. It was directed in 2006. I've mentioned it before, like I said, so I won't rehash too much about the story. You should check out our other video if you'd like to hear a little bit more about it. What I will say is that the best part of this revenge flick is that it's so cleverly disguised in the action comedy genre that it's completely masks the presence of its revenge subgenre.
Great choice, Devin. I absolutely love that movie. I love that you keep bringing it up because more people need to watch that film. My number five is going to be John Wick. I absolutely love this movie and all of the sequels as well. I can't wait for more. I think what this film does so interesting in the genre is it kind of turns the revenge genre on its head by making it about a stolen car and a dog, rather than like a human. And just seeing Keanu Reeves do what he does best and create another iconic character is so much fun. The action scenes are so well choreographed. And this is definitely a franchise for the books, and I can't wait for them to continue this saga of John Wick.
I love the John Wick films, and I think a dead dog is probably a really good reason for a lot of people to get revenge. And actually, great insight about Keanu Reeves making iconic characters. I didn't think about that before, but he does have iconic characters.
Yeah.
Um, my number four, I would like to start out with a quote. Bill, it's your baby. It's Kill Bill 2003, directed by the one and only Quentin Tarantino. Um, just what a great way to start out a movie, watching a beaten and broken Uma Thurman say her presumably last words to an indifferent, jilted lover played by David Carradine. It's a Tarantino movie. It's brilliant dialogue backdropped by a brilliant soundtrack framed by over-the-top brilliant violence. You watch as a recently awoken comatose patient kills her way through the ranks of her ex-lover's gang lieutenants, starting with a nurse who let people rape her while she was comatose for money. This is a duology, both with heavy inspirations from old kung fu flicks.
I think that that's a great choice because it's also my number four. I love Quentin Tarantino, obviously. I do actually, I put just Kill Bill Volume 1 on here and not lumping them together because I love the first Kill Bill. Not a huge overt fan of Kill Bill Volume 2, unfortunately. But this first volume is so jam-packed with an amazing performance by Uma Thurman and the supporting cast with Vivica A. Fox as Bernita Green and Lucy Liu as Oren Ishii. I love the supporting cast. I love the fight with the crazy 88s and also with Vernetta Green. But this movie just does everything that Quentin Tarantino does best, even better. So I love this movie. I think it is the quintessential revenge flick.
Yeah, I think Kill Bill 1 is the classic. I think that's the one that sticks out in everybody's mind. She's wearing the yellow and black suit. Um, and 2 definitely relies more heavily on the like old kung fu classics, I think.
Yep.
Anyways, my number 3 is V for Vendetta. The
Mhm.
director was James McTeague, uh, and it's starring Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman. It's got Vendetta in the name, so it's about revenge. I love this movie. I'll probably watch it once a year, especially in this like climate that we're living in now. V is an experiment gone wrong. He's out to seek vengeance to his wrongdoers, but his vengeance has a purpose. It's really to shake awake the people living under an oppressive dystopian government. This movie gives me chills. One scene in this movie I just want to talk about is when he's finally enacting his punishment on one of the misguided scientists who had a hand in V's fate. Clearly ready for death, she tells him that she had the best intentions, to which he replies, "I have not come for what you hoped to do, I've come for what you did." A line delivered so coldly, but then immediately followed by such warmth when she asks, "Is it meaningless to apologize?" To which he replies, "Never." And it gets me. That movie is just beautiful, especially when they're blowing up Parliament.
I absolutely love that movie. It's definitely like a once a year movie for sure for me as well. Always have to put it on. The rewatchability factor is very high up there. My number three is called Upgrade, and this movie stars Logan Marshall Green, uh, who is so underrated just in the film world. I think he is so charming and charismatic, and he always adds some humor and heart to a film, especially in this movie. This movie is directed by Leigh Whannell, who was the writer of the Saw films, and then also recently directed and wrote The Invisible Man. He injects so much style and intensity to this film. And it was a super low budget movie, but you cannot tell because of how creative it is in its choreography. And also, the finale of this movie is mind boggling and so satisfying. It's a basic revenge thriller about a man who his wife is murdered and he goes and gets revenge. But the added sci-fi bonus of him having this AI installed inside of him is just it makes it next tier revenge flick.
That's a great movie, and I totally like didn't even think about that. You're right about the humor injected into it. Is the AI I think is the humorous part of it. It's just
Yeah.
so like dry, the delivery and stuff. Um, and that's got a great ending. It's really open ended and makes you think, and it's provocative.
Yep.
My number 2 is 2003's Old Boy, directed by Chan Wook Park. Sorry if I butchered that name. I'm talking about the Korean version specifically. The American version isn't bad per se, but I do feel like it's missing a certain je ne sais quoi that makes the original version whole. Uh, this movie is rage inducing because a drunken man gets imprisoned in a hotel room for years without a single clue as to why. He spends his time getting fit, being angry, punching walls, when he's suddenly and unexplicably released. The doors just open. So you get to discover what the main character, who his tormentor is, and why he was imprisoned, but not before he lets his own bloody retribution free. This movie has some of the most brilliantly shot fight choreography that I've ever seen, and it's a must watch.
Love that movie too. And you're definitely right about the American version. I think it's not a bad film and it's very similar, but there's something missing that the Korean film just has in abundance. I don't know what it is or can't really put it into
I me
words, but
neither.
the Korean version is so good. My number two is going to be Gone Girl, directed by David Fincher. And this is a different kind of revenge. But it's a powerful revenge nonetheless. Basically, Amy is getting revenge on her husband by torturing him mentally and putting him through hell. And the reason she does this is because he put her in hell by treating her like she was invisible, by treating her like she was, trash, and by cheating on her and doing all these things to her. So in turn, she makes her husband feel the same exact way, but even worse. Yes, the woman is psychotic, but this movie is extremely intelligent and captivating, and I think it's one of the best revenge films ever.
It's it's an interesting one because you are in you're in the seat of someone who the revenge is being enacted upon instead of the person who is enacting the revenge. So yeah, that's a great choice.
Thank you.
So that brings us to our number one. And my number one is actually referenced by another movie on my list, Fifa Vendetta. And if you've seen that movie, you can probably guess that it's the Count of Monte Cristo. Although I'm
Mhm.
talking about the 2003 version, directed by Kevin Reynolds, starring Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce, and a brilliant support role by Luis Guzman. He's not really much heard of, but I love everything that he's in. Anyways, oh, also apparently there's a young Henry Cavill in this movie, and I didn't realize that until I looked at the IMDb page, and I know exactly who he is. The character he plays, not Henry Cavill. Um, for some reason, this movie it just checks all of the boxes for me, and it's a classic tale of revenge. Um, a simple man, Jim Caviezel, gets caught in the middle of a treasonous conspiracy and betrayed by his jealous best friend, played by Guy Pearce. He spends years in prison, being educated and trained by an old soldier. When he escapes, he has the choice of starting over with wealth and forgiveness, but ultimately uses his wealth to make the architects of his misery pay.
Whew, that is such a good pick. I honestly, I've only seen that movie once, and it was when it first came out. I loved it, but I definitely need to rewatch that. Wow, and
It's
I mean, I feel like it's not talked about a lot, but I know a lot of people do like that film.
I think anything Jim Caviezel has had a hand in, kind of since Passion of the Christ, people just don't. I think he cursed his movies. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, we should actually watch that sometime, Sean. I would love to see it again. It's been a couple. It's been probably 5 or 6 years since I've seen it.
Yeah, I would love that. I definitely want to watch it. I think Jim Caviezel, when he got hit by that lightning bolt on top of that hill, filming Passion of the Christ, he was cursed by
Yeah.
God. Okay. My number one is a one of my favorite films of all time. It is Hard Candy. And this is another movie that is not what you would typically think of when you think of a revenge film, but I'll tell you why it is. The whole entire movie, this man, played by Patrick Wilson, is being put through psychological terror by this young girl played by Ellen Page in career best performances by both of them, by the way. And you really don't understand why she's doing this to this man, why she's torturing him. Besides a couple of things thrown in there about there's a possibility he might be some kind of child molester or something like that, but it's not like in your face. And there are some moments in this movie that are so uncomfortable and nail biting and tense. It's just it's like just so nerve wracking to watch this movie. And what I love about it and what makes this film so powerful is that they don't really tell you why she's doing what she's doing. but you know she's getting revenge on somebody out there. It might not be Patrick Wilson's character. It might be somebody else, or it might be that she's getting revenge for one of her friends. They don't tell you overtly, but you know she's getting revenge on him, and you are all in on the ride.
Nice, good pick. I haven't seen that. You've suggested that to me before, but I'll have to check that out.
There is one scene in that film where you will definitely be squirming. That's for sure. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for watching Lost in the Real. This has been our favorite revenge films of all time. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked it. And also comment down below and let us know what your favorite revenge films are. We'd love to hear about it and talk about them with you. Once again, thank you for watching. We will be back in a couple of days. We're taking a little bit of a break for the new year, and we will see you in 2021.
Bye bye.